Our movie begins with Max at a psychiatrist's office. The doctor is trying to ask him some questions, but the strange thing is that Max's face is covered with bandages, and he tells the doctor that he kills people by accident. But the doctor doesn't understand, and Max tries to explain that anyone who looks at his face dies instantly. The doctor then asks, "If what you're saying is true, why didn't your mom and dad die when they saw you?" That's when Max replies and tells him what happened from the day he was born. The doctor and nurses saw his beauty and died immediately. But the surprising part is that his parents are immune to this curse and nothing happens to them like it does with everyone else. After that, the family took him and moved far away to a place with very few people, so no one would see him and die because of him. But of course, the doctor didn't believe him and told him that the bandages or the mask he's wearing are the reason for his depression. Suddenly, his mom and dad, who were waiting outside, heard a loud bang, came in, and found the doctor lying dead on the floor. When they asked Max why he did it, he replied simply, "He didn't believe me, so I convinced him." The police came immediately and the officer told them that their son truly wasn't responsible for the doctor's death. But every time they get a call about a death in the city, their son is always nearby, and this is their final warning. During this time, Max was sitting and hearing everything, but he wasn't mentally present. The weird thing was that there was a rock on the floor in front of him. And even weirder, he took the rock with him back home. When he got home, they were having dinner, and his friend Dan was the only one there with them. His mom and dad told him they were worried about him and that he needed to go out and meet people. His dad, Paul, even suggested he register on a dating app like his friend Dan. But Max didn't like the suggestion and left them to go to his room. There, he took the rock with him and asked his friend to hit him in the face with it to disfigure his face so people wouldn't die because of it. But his friend refused and told him, "You need to see a psychiatrist." Max said, "I did, and the psychiatrist died." Of course, Dan wasn't paying much attention, as he was busy with all the messages from girls on dating apps. That's when Max got annoyed and knocked Dan's phone out of his hand. Then Max goes to the hospital with his mom, and there he meets a girl named Alex, who gives him a magazine to read while he waits for his turn. But he prefers to talk to her until the doctor calls his name. A bit later, Max is back home sitting with his mom, who is trying to call a repair company to fix their heater. As soon as she gives them the address and they ask if Max is her son, they hang up the call. At the same time, there's a knock at the door. Dan has come to take Max out on a date with a girl to help him meet new people. They go out together, and Dan tries to introduce them. After a while, he leaves to give them privacy. Of course, Max doesn't know how to start a conversation, so he takes out a handmade napkin with her name Erica written on it and hands it to her. She thanks him. Suddenly, in the same restaurant, a guy named Craig starts shouting at a girl who then leaves. He comes and sits at Max's table, starts flirting with Erica, whom he already knows, and teases Max, saying, "You're the guy who kills people with your beautiful face? Then show me your face." But Max tells him, "It's not me," and tries to avoid trouble. In the stress of the moment, Max spills his juice on the table and tries to get up. But Craig grabs him and says, "You spilled it, you clean it." He grabs the napkin Max made for Erica and throws it on the spilled juice, then gets up and knocks Max's cap off, forcing his head down on the table. That's when the manager comes and kicks Craig out of the restaurant. Max apologizes to Erica and asks her for another chance to go out, but she refuses because she's scared of him. Max becomes very sad and doesn't know how to express his anger. He goes to stand on a bridge, planning to jump into the river and end his life. Right before he jumps, Alex suddenly appears and talks to him, convincing him that life is beautiful and he still has a lot to live for. She tells him, "If you jump, I'll jump too." She then takes him on a tour of a nursing home to show him the real meaning of life and how precious life truly is. There he meets an old woman named Esther and another one named Rosemary. Alex tells them that Max was about to end his life by jumping off the bridge. So the four of them sit together, and Esther tells Max she's a retired novelist. She was trying to write her final novel about Alzheimer's, which she suffers from, but unfortunately she doesn't remember anything from it anymore. Later, Max and Alex leave so she can take him home after their visit to the nursing home, just to make sure he doesn't go back to the bridge again. Max is now with his friend Dan playing together, and he tells him what happened. Dan suggests he try to find Alex on social media, but Max says he doesn't know her full name. So Dan suggests he go back to the same places where they met, hoping he might see her again. And Max agrees. He goes back to his room, and because he loves embroidery, he makes a handkerchief with a drawing of the bridge where they met and writes underneath, "If you jump, I'll jump." He goes to the bus stop near the bridge. The bus comes, but she's not on it. Then suddenly Alex appears and says, "Are you stalking me or what? Why are you here?" He doesn't know how to respond, but we find out that he purposely missed his bus when he saw her, and then he asked her again if they could go out. After thinking, she agrees and says, "Let's go before I change my mind." They go to the supermarket together, buy all the sweets in the store, go back to Max's house, and dump everything into the bathtub. They both sit in it because they had always dreamed of sitting in a bathtub full of candy and experiencing that feeling. Max starts telling her about himself and how he was born with a face that kills anyone who looks at it, but Alex isn't surprised because she already knows his story, saying He's quite popular at the hospital and everyone knows about him. That's when Max asks her why she goes to the hospital. Alex decides to be honest and tells him that she has a rare heart condition called endorphin allergy, and too much excitement causes inflammations that make her heart enlarge. She also wears a device that monitors her heart rate and size. Now she's trying a new medication that's starting to work. They go out to the cinema and have some drinks together. Since it's Max's first time drinking, he gets drunk and Alex takes him home. When she sees his room and the embroidery he made, she asks him to make her something special. But Alex is also curious and wants to get closer to Max, so she takes off her glasses, and just before she removes his bandages, his parents arrive home. They're shocked to find Alex with their son Max, to the point where his mom hugs him and is extremely happy about it. At the same time, they've brought along a student named Yuxin from an exchange program, and of course, she'll be living with them. She's also brought her cat. Apparently, Yuxin doesn't even like herself and hates socializing with people. The story between Max and Alex continues. They go out more together and return to visit the nursing home, sitting again with Esther and Rose, who is celebrating her birthday that day. At night, they're all having dinner, but Yuxin doesn't eat with them because she ordered pizza and takes it to her room since she doesn't like eating with anyone. That's when Max's mom asks him to take Yuxin out to show her the city, but he makes an excuse saying he's going on a camping trip with Alex and Dan. His mom doesn't buy it and tells him, "Take her with you," so unwillingly he takes her along. And the next day, the four of them go out again, but this time there's a girl with them too. She's Dan's friend, and at night before they sleep, Alex asks Max to take off the bandage from his face because she's scared he might be hiding something ugly. So Max gets an idea and asks her to close her eyes and not open them. Then he takes off the bandage and puts it over her eyes and lets her touch his face with her hands so she can feel his features and make sure there's no deformity. Then they all go back to their homes. Alex calls Max and tells him she won't be able to see him today because her mom asked her to help with the house chores, and she hangs up. But the truth is, Alex was at the hospital with her mom visiting her doctor. At the same time, Max's mom asks him to take out the Christmas tree from the house. So Max and Dan do it, and Yuxin is with them. She throws a cigarette on the tree and it catches fire. When Dan tries to put it out, her hand gets burned, so she and Max go to the hospital. But the surprise is, on their way back, they see Alex and her mom. When he calls her, she acts like she doesn't know them and even tells her mom they're just co-workers from the nursing home. Then she walks away with her mom. At that moment, Max is shocked and really upset that she lied to him and pretended not to know him. He tells his friend they need to leave immediately. Then Max goes with his dad to the supermarket while they are shopping for groceries, and Yuxin is with them. Max asks his dad, "How did you meet mom and how did you know you loved her?" His dad realizes he's trying to figure out whether what he feels for Alex is love or just a crush. So he advises him to tell Alex how he feels because she might not even know he loves her. The next day, Max meets Alex, and when he asks her about what happened at the hospital, she tells him she had to say that because if her mom found out she had friends, she'd stop her from going out completely. The latest tests show her heart is getting more enlarged, which is really dangerous for her health. Her mom believes the safest place for her is the nursing home because it's boring and has no excitement or emotions. Then Alex takes Max to the nursing home to surprise Rosemary. There they meet Esther, who tells them she's dying and living on breathing machines. Alex gets really emotional, starts bleeding, and rushes out of the room. Max follows her and finds her extremely sad about Rose. She asks him for help. That's when he realizes she wants him to take off the bandage so Rose can see his face and die. But Max refuses. Alex tells him it would be doing her a favor because she's suffering and stuck between life and death. She wants to die with dignity. Then she leaves him. A little later, Max goes into Rose's room and takes the bandage off. When Rose sees his face, she smiles and dies immediately. After that, Max tries sending messages to Alex, but she doesn't respond at all. He's very frustrated and doesn't know what to do. Then he decides to go out with his friend Dan, and they're in a restaurant. Dan arranges to go out with the waitress working there and invites her to the spring fling party at their school. She agrees, and he tells Max, "You have to come and bring Alex too." But Max tells him she's not replying anymore and I don't know anything about her. Dan grabs Max's phone and sends a message to Alex saying, "Will you come to the spring fling party with me?" But again, she doesn't respond. Then Max goes straight to her house and knocks on the door. She opens, and they go to her room and talk. She tells him she's really sick and her treatment isn't working anymore. Her doctor also wants to increase the dosage, but that would cause other side effects. When Max tries to comfort her, he asks, "What can I do for you?" She tells him, "Take me to the dance party." So they actually go, both of them in costumes, and they start dancing and having a good time. But when the romantic music starts, Alex can't handle it. Her heart starts hurting, and and she gets a nosebleed. She tells him, "I'm going to the bathroom." Dan goes to Max asking about Alex, and his date Valencia is with him. Then Craig shows up with his friends and starts mocking Dan. When he notices Max is there, he mocks him too and says, "I heard women die from seeing your face because it's too beautiful." Then he pushes Dan towards his friends and grabs Max by the neck, removes his mask and points his face towards Valencia. As soon as she sees him, she's mesmerized by his beauty, falls to the ground, and dies instantly. Everyone is in complete shock. The police come and arrest Max, and they put a mask on him as he's getting into the police car. He sees Alex in the ambulance being taken to the hospital. The next day, Max is released and goes straight to the hospital to see Alex. He meets her mom, who hugs him right away because she's heartbroken about her daughter. Then Max goes to Alex's room, tries to make her laugh and cheer her up, but when he looks at her meds, he realizes Alex was lying to him. At the same time, she tells him she found out about her condition when she was 4 and doctors told her she would die at 16. Now she's 17 and not enjoying life at all. It's like she's not even living. She tells him the only thing she's ever achieved is meeting him and having a close friend. She apologizes for hiding things from him. It wasn't her choice. Then, once again, she asks him to take off the bandage so she can see him and find peace before dying. But he gets really angry and tells her this is painful for him. Everyone who died because of him, he still sees their faces in his mind. Then he leaves. When he gets home, he's super angry and starts hitting himself with a rock. His parents run to stop him before he hurts himself. They understand the pain he's in and hold him to calm him down. At that moment, the bandage falls off his face. When Yuxin's cat sees him, even it dies. Days pass and Max isolates himself at home, not replying to anyone, not even Alex's messages or calls. He goes to Valencia's funeral and sees Dan there, who asks him about Alex and tells him she's been trying to reach out. But Max doesn't care, which makes Dan angry. He tells him she's sick. You can't just leave her like that right now. Then Dan walks away. The next day, Max goes to the hospital to see Alex and brings all the handkerchiefs he embroidered for her, hanging them on the wall. When Alex wakes up and sees them, she's happy. Max gets close and gives her a special one he made just for her. He tries to make her feel better and talk to her, but once again, Alex asks him to end her life because she's in so much pain. Max then asks her to close her eyes and removes the bandage from his face. When she sees him, surprisingly, nothing happens. She doesn't die. They talk a bit, but Alex gets weaker and Max calls the doctor. Alex falls into a coma, and Max stays by her side until he falls asleep from exhaustion. When he wakes up, she's gone. She passed away. Max goes to her funeral, says goodbye to her while heartbroken, then heads to the bridge where they first met and she saved his life. Later, Max and Craig are both cleared from Valencia's death. The coroner ruled that she died from a serotonin overdose and it was considered natural death. After the case, Max became really famous. Everyone in town knew his story and couldn't believe a teenage boy had a face that causes death. But others needed Max's help. People on their deathbed started sending him messages asking him to help them die. And Max actually agreed to help. He went back to the nursing home, her favorite place, and spent time with Esther. He did all the things Alex used to love doing. Sometimes Esther would ask about Alex when she remembered because she had Alzheimer's. In the end, Max returned to his normal life, started loving everything around him, doing it with passion, and accepting his face. And that's the end of the movie. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.